Welcome to a lesson on subtracting integers. The goal of this video is to rewrite subtraction problems as addition problems to determine the difference of two integers. We can always rewrite a subtraction problem as an addition problem. Instead of subtracting, we can always just add the opposite. So if we're subtracting a positive, that is the same as adding a negative. So if we have a minus positive b, that's the same as a plus a negative b. For example, 5 minus 7 is the same as 5 plus a negative 7. So 5 minus a positive 7 is the same as 5 plus a negative 7. Subtracting a positive is the same as adding a negative. And subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. So if we have a minus negative b, that's the same as a plus b. So if we had 5 minus negative 7, that's the same as 5 plus positive 7. Now if this doesn't really make sense to you, you can think of negative 7 as a loss of $7. And if I was to say I'm going to take away your $7 loss, that's pretty much the same as just giving you $7, which would be the same as plus 7. Now once we have our subtraction problems written as addition problems, we're just going to follow the rules for adding integers. Let's go ahead and take a look at some examples. Now I realize after you do this a while you may not have to convert these to addition problems, but since we're just learning how to subtract integers, we're going to go ahead and first rewrite these as addition problems and then follow the rules for adding integers. So 12 minus positive 7 is the same as 12 plus negative 7. So if we change this to an addition sign, we have to change this positive 7 to negative 7. And now we follow the rules for adding integers. We have 12 plus negative 7, which is equal to positive 5. Now again, it probably would have been easier just to do 12 minus 7 to get 5, but we're just practicing rewriting these subtraction problems as addition problems. Now for this next example, we have 6 minus 15. That's the same as 6 plus a negative 15. Now we can probably tell here that the negative is going to outweigh the positive because we have a negative 15, so the sum will be negative 9. Remember, the formal rules for adding integers say we take the absolute value of both numbers. So the absolute value of negative 15 is 15, the absolute value of 6 is 6, but since they have different signs, we subtract the smaller from the larger. This gives us the 9. But since the 15 is the bigger number and 15 is negative, our sum is negative 9. Negative 5 minus 9 would be the same as negative 5 plus negative 9. Well, now we're adding two integers with the same sign, so the rules say add their absolute values and keep the sign. So 5 plus 9 is 14, but it would be negative 14 because they're both negative. Notice when they're the same sign, we add their absolute values. In the previous example, when the signs were different, we subtracted. Let's look at another one. Here we have negative 3 minus negative 4. That's the same as negative 3 plus positive 4. Instead of subtracting a negative, we're going to add a positive. And then here we have negative 3 plus 4. That'll give us a positive 1. Remember, we have different signs here, so we take their absolute values and subtract. 4 minus 3 equals 1. And since now the larger number is the 4 that's positive, our sum is positive. Let's take a look at two more that are a little more challenging. Here we have negative 63 minus negative 41. Let's write this as an addition problem. So negative 63, instead of minus a negative 41, we'll have plus a positive 41. So notice that the integers have different signs. So we'll take their absolute values and then subtract. So we'll have it positive 63, positive 41, and then subtract. This will give us 22. But since the 63 is larger, and it's negative. It outweighs the positive 41, so our sum is negative 22. Let's take a look at one more. 50 minus 63 is the same as 50 plus a negative 63. Again, we're summing integers with different signs. So we take their absolute values and subtract. So we'd have a positive 63 and a positive 50. Subtract the smaller from the larger. That'll give us 13. Notice the 63 is larger and it was negative to begin with, so it outweighs the positive 50. So the result is negative 13. Okay, that's going to do it for subtracting integers. Thank you for watching.